Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to have you here for the second evening of the 2016 Global Humanitarian Summit. We definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your life, your schedule, and coming to be here with us. Like we said before, this is a celebration. This is a gathering. It's a reunion of all of us being part of the human family. And so we want to be able to make this an opportunity for everyone to be inspired and also to inspire others. So we appreciate you being here. If you can, we're going to go ahead and have everybody take their seats. We're going to get the program started. We want to try to get ourselves back a little bit on time. As you can see, we got a lot of good entertainment. We got a lot of things going on, so you're going to have a very, very enjoyable evening. Now, to start us off, I'm going to invite Zoe to come up, and she's going to do, as you can see, it was there, and it will be there in just a minute. We have what we call an alternate Pledge of Allegiance. Since we are talking about international and global, we're going to have a Pledge of Allegiance that kind of captures that spirit. Come on up, Zoe.
I'm going to get out of the way here. So everybody can see this. Can everybody see that up there? Is that big enough for everyone to see in the back too? Okay. So Miles is my son there, who you've seen running around all weekend. Miles, why don't you come up here with me? And are there any other kids in the audience at this? Oh, Albert. Albert is one of Miles's good buddies, and his mom and dad are from the region of Spain that Barcelona is the capital of, and one of our good friends here. So this, oh great, okay, here kids, you come over here. Okay, can you hold this? Can you hold that in the middle? Okay, so I want everybody in the audience, I would like you to all join in this alternate Pledge of Allegiance, because what we do not need the most in America right now, I feel, is more patriotism. I feel like what we need most in the whole world, for the whole world, is patriotism, I guess, global patriotism. Instead of countries being very into patriotism, I think global patriotism is what is really called for to end all the wars and all of the atrocities happening in the world. If we can pull together as a world and think of the world as what we need to be allegiant to and what we need to protect and value and uphold and share everyone with everyone. So join together. We'll all say this. I pledge allegiance to the world and all its peoples,
one human family, indivisible by race, citizenship, religion, culture, or sexual orientation, with peace, justice, shelter, food, health, and happiness for all.
Amen.
All right, that was good. So we're getting off to a roaring start. You'll find that we're gonna have you guys getting involved. So I know you may used to be at shows where you just kind of sit, but sometimes we're gonna be asking you to stand. We may be asking you to shake the person's hand next to you. You never know. So we want it to be interactive. Many times that makes it to where you get more out of it, and you're not just sitting there. And I'd hate to see somebody going to sleep on especially when I'm talking. So we're going to go ahead and invite our next presenter to give us some more opening remarks. Ashlyn Kane. Would you please come on up to the stage?
No, this down. Sorry, very short. Hey there. So I'm sure that you've all had an absolutely fantastic weekend thus far. I know I personally have been more inspired and more in awe of my fellow humans than I have in a very long time. So I know I say that the worst part of the weekend is going to be going home, right? Because to me, one of the most beautiful things about what we are accomplishing here right now isn't even so much the sharing of all this important information, which of course is, why we're all here. But the real thing is building a culture and a community. That's why a part of our mission statement is to build a synergistic culture of humanitarian change. Because when we're acting in isolation, it's easy to feel, isolated. It's easy to give up. It's easy to get discouraged. And here today we have people from all different humanitarian causes that are showing us not only that these things are all important, but that they're all hugely interconnected. Because you can't just be good and righteous in one way. It's a way of thinking about the world when we ask, have I really done the most I can, not did I just do good enough for me and mine? And so we celebrate that here this weekend. And that's why one of our keynote speakers, as I'm sure you caught last night, was Miss Naomi King. Now, what's so incredibly inspiring about her civil rights fight with her husband and also with her brother-in-law, Dr. Martin Luther King, is that this was not just something done by a bunch of random people. This was also a synergistic culture of change. And where did it start? Houses of prayer. Because that's where people were allowed to congregate, and that's where people could let their guard down. They could truly experience the beauty of each other's human souls. And back during the civil rights fight, a lot of people were told, well, you got the vote. Can't you just calm down with the change for a while? And we hear today how absolutely ludicrous that sounds. Because there's no easy and, long-term smooth path to changing injustice. It's something that's right now, all the time, and we can never be content. But that was so beautiful about what she did, is she pioneered on, not only in her community, but also with her family. She was a strong mother, too, instilling these views into her own family. And that's what we must do here, too. We must build our own family of humanitarians. So when you go home after this weekend, it doesn't have to be the worst part, because this doesn't end here. This continues with all of you, but it also continues with the movement that we are going to be launching, which will be embodied by a nonprofit organization called Humanitarians Unite. Now, as the summit founder, Dr. Neil Schulman, says all the time, almost every planning meeting we've had, is that the best prayers are acts of kindness. So if you want to make whoever it is that you pray to smile, do something righteous, do something loving, take care of each other. And that's what this organization is going to do. We're going to be bringing together people from all walks of life and all different causes, inspiring each other, empowering, networking together, and building that culture of change. We're not just going to work together, we're going to love each other. And we're going to set a powerful example for the rest of the world with the work that we do here. So I just want to thank you so much for everything that all of you have brought to the table. And thank you for having the hearts to do this with your weekend. Thank you for being this kind of person. Thank you for being a humanitarian.
She thinks she's being led to slaughter. No. On behalf of Debbie, no. On behalf of Debbie, we do not like to miss anyone out, and Susan Franklin has been a huge part of this humanitarian summit, and we'd like to give a round of applause. She's the head of the volunteers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anyone else that, we don't like to single anybody out, but is there anyone else that would like to be acknowledged? I acknowledge all of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sadie.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we are moving right along. Like I said, we got a lot of good entertainment, and we're going to start you off right, hitting it hard right at the beginning. I want to make this introduction. This is an amazing young man, and so you're going to just get a glimpse of what he's doing, but he's incredible. Tony T. Rep. Benton Jr. began his journey at the age of 9 and has been making a positive impact ever since. This young humanitarian attends Georgia State University, majoring in communications and broadcast journalism. T-Rep established the Rep Zone, utilizing multimedia platforms to inspire and encourage children, youth, and young adults to follow their dreams and to use their talents and skills to make a positive impact in the world. He launched the What's Your Rep campaign, designed to reverse the world's perception that all of today's young people who are doing amazing things, as well as the leaders and organizations that support youth empowerment and provide mentorship. Oh, and to make sure that this generation is not viewed as a lost cause, because that's what the media tends to put out there. He is a certified trainer, youth leader, and red carpet correspondent for the historic King Center. He is a certified instructor and mogul in training with R&B superstar Usher Raymond's New Look Foundation and Youth Program. He's an intern and International Student Council member with Class Nobel of the family that founded the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. National Society of High School Scholars. He is a television and radio broadcasting intern with Ryan Seacrest Studios and Foundation, and has been a volunteer youth leader with the Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless organization since the age of 10. T-Rep stands for Tony Representing Everything Positive. His overall mission is to bring into focus in a world that is often confusing and unclear, that the revelation that regardless of the challenge, setbacks, and failures that we will face, ultimately the reward can be ours. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. We got a video, and we'll get ready for that.
My name is Tony Benton Jr. I'm a freshman at Georgia State University, and I would first like to thank Mr. Nobel. And I would like to first start off with a quote from John Quincy Adams, and it says, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader."
You're an ambassador in your community. We have grown as a class, not only the class of 2014, but I like to call us the class that never turns down. Big shoes to fill. Stay closed, stay smart, stay turned up, and last but not least, do not only be successful, but stay successful. Thank you.
All scholarship recipients have been recognized. Tony Benton, 365,600.
School shootings are just heartless. And then we have the knockout game. That's just senseless. And then it comes down to killing our own brothers and sisters every day. That's just tragic.
Today, some local teenagers are telling people downtown they've had it with watching their own friends die because of gun violence.
They want people to think twice before picking up a gun. I also talked with one teenager who told me he's here because several of his classmates were shot to death.
Teens, it's like we're killing each other, adults are killing each other, and it's like it's time for us to make a stand.
Our final story this evening is just a little bit of peace, as in a campaign for peace in the form of a video. A local producer and composer, Dr. Gregory McPherson of Marietta, pulled together a talented group of children here in Atlanta, called them the Peace Syndicate, then enlisted members of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra and recorded a video of their first single. It is a diverse group of singers and dancers and instrumentalists from the Metro combining their talents to promote the one thing we all need more of, peace. Let There Be Peace, just a little bit, is their first video, and tonight, my last word. And as we leave you, watch, enjoy, and be sure not to miss the very end.
Little, we can keep the dream. And louder, let the freedom ring. Each and every second, every minute, every hour. Time to stop it out, the violence devoured. Just a little bit of love is all we need to plant the seed for perfect harmony. We can't talk about it, we gotta be about it. And since we got the power, come on and sing it louder.
We're gonna hear some Drake here on The Voice.
I'm Tony Benton Jr.
See you next week on
MZTV.
Thank you very much.
When you're powered by service, you must know that when you have a cause and when you have a purpose and a passion, then you're able to use it. You're able to use it not just for your own personal reasons, but you're able to use it to help someone else. To know that you giving back and you serving others can help you become a better person and to help more people. It's a feeling and it's an actual action that you must take. So be powered by service, not just for yourself, but for others.
United, we are one world powered by service. One world powered by you.
Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you use to change the world.
We'll be the youth that actually are managing and making a difference in your companies in the future.
The essence of the 4 pillars in his life every single day. So I need everybody to give a warm welcome to Tony Benton.
Strive for the best. We will overcome our obstacles when life puts us to the test. We will follow our hearts and always reach for the stars. Our dreams are within reach and for the future is ours. I can become anything I aspire to be because all of those who believe in New Look believe in me. And if I believe in myself and to me I stay true, there's nothing I can't achieve and nothing I cannot do. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to introduce to you the guy who introduced me last year when I was able to be blessed to speak. Please give it up for the one and only Ludacris as he comes to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say I saw Tony everything he knows. Like he said, all his confidence comes from me, 100%, but I'm very proud of that young man.
Big Boss, I earned it. Yes, I earned it. Absolutely. You were phenomenal. I worked hard for it. Yes, you represent the group really strong as anybody.
Thank you, thank you. I want to start off with thanking the Global Humanitarian Summit for allowing me to be here. I really, truly appreciate it. Before I get started, I also want to shout out to my mom. She's working the camera right over there. Hi, Mother. Thank you so much for all that you have done and all that you continue to do for me. My name is Tony Benton Jr., and I'm the CEO and founder of The Rep Zone, which is a TV show, radio show, podcast that is starting off very fresh, continuing to grow. But I don't necessarily look at the Rep Zone as a multimedia platform. I don't necessarily look at it as visual, fun, entertainment, everything like that. I look at it as a movement. I think that the Rep Zone is a call to action. And when I say that I feel like the Rep Zone is a state of mind. And the word rep comes from representation. And when you're representing something, your mind is in that zone. So if you're representing something positive, then you're in a positive zone. You're in a happy zone. You're in a successful growth. But if you're in a negative zone, then I wouldn't say that you're in the Rep Zone. But I think everyone can be in the Rep Zone. I want to start off, can everyone in the room close your eyes for me? Everyone, go ahead, close your eyes. Close your eyes shut. And I want you to picture yourself as a painter. You're a phenomenal artist. You've got every type of paintbrush, every type of color, everything you need. And you see a blank canvas in front of you. And this blank canvas is your life. You, as the painter, create your portrait. You create what you see. This being your life, you can either make it something ugly, something that's a big mess, just throwing paint, whatever color that you see, just throwing whatever you want on this canvas, or you can make this something beautiful. You can create a work of art that is never going to be forgotten, a work of art that creates a legacy. You control your destiny. You control what your life is. Everyone can open their eyes now. And, you know, I understand that a lot of people may think that we're in a time where we have no control. I know, especially as a young person, sometimes I feel like I have no control whatsoever. I say that, you know, as young people, we've got parents telling us what to do. We've got, you know, principals. We've got college professors, police officers. We've got everyone trying to tell us what to do. And I know me growing into adulthood, still feel kind of controlled. But one thing that you do have control over is your own life. Some people may make excuses and saying, well, I can't make my own decisions, and this person's making me do this, and this person's making me do that. At the end of the day, you can control your destiny. Now, the question is, what will you do with your destiny? What will you do with your life? Will you impact others? Will you inspire and encourage and leave a legacy? Or will you just be another person who just lives life, just walks this earth daily? That's where the question comes in, what zone are you in? So when you think about your mindset, when you think about what you're doing on a daily basis, I like to think, before I make choices, what outcome will come from me doing this? Will this be a consequence that I look back to, and I say, maybe I shouldn't have done that? Or will I be in the zone where I mess up and I make a stupid decision that will send me to jail, or put something on my record, and then I mess up something that I've spent my entire life working hard to keep because I let someone else put me in the wrong zone, and I didn't take control and get in my own rep zone. We even have, you know, even not just young people, but we have many adults out there who aren't in the right zone. You know, there are people who have went left, which means they turned down to drugs and to crime and to pain, hurting people, hurting themselves. Then you've got those, similar to you guys in this room, who have chosen the right path, wanting to help others, looking to the person next to you and valuing their life just as much as you value yours. I chose the name T-Rep because it stands for Tony Representing Everything Positive. And within me choosing that, I didn't just choose the name because it's like, oh, it's an acronym. Nah. Oh, it's my name in it. No, it's much more than that. It goes all the way to the fact of, before I make a choice, before I make a decision, I think, what am I telling other people to do? How am I going to tell other people to rep everything positive if I'm not representing everything positive? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Just because I say I rep everything positive, that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I do make mistakes. I'm in college, downtown. There are times where you have temptation walking down the street. You have people trying to get me to go and do this, trying to get me to go to this place, trying to get me to smoke this, drink that, all day, every day. But I have to think, how do I impact others? Can I go do an interview high off of drugs? No. Can I go to church and talk to my family, my friends, the congregation drunk? No. I have to make an impact. I have to be the light in my community. And that's what each one of you here are. You're light in your own community. And I know a lot of the times it's going to be hard. We all have daily struggles. We have financial hardships. We have deaths in the family. We have times where we're just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I've had those times, but I have to look back and say, it's more than just me. My story is my story to impact others. I know we have different religions in here. Mine is, I believe in God, and I feel like every destiny has a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. So when I look back and I think, wow, Tony, you were in 9th grade reading on a 5th grade reading level, but came your senior year in high school, you were in an AP honors class, and now you're majoring in journalism. I look back and I think, wow, me and my mom got our house foreclosed on. Around that same time, my grandma passed, and then the next week, my mom had to have open heart surgery. But I look back and I think, wow, I'm still here? I haven't broke down? Because it's not about me. It's about what I can do to impact the world. It's about my story being able to help others. So I leave with you guys today to just reflect and just have yourselves think, what zone are you in? Are you in a zone where you feel stuck? You can break that zone. Are you in a zone where you feel unhappy? You can break that zone. And if you need help breaking that zone, I've had the opportunity, as you've seen in the video, to be a part of wonderful programs. Usher's New Look, in which we've trained hundreds and thousands of students across the world in leadership, in branding, networking, leadership. Being a part of the historic King Center, I went from being just a volunteer to being able to now follow my dreams and be a red carpet correspondent. And now I'm an intern in the communications department. Being a part of the National Society of High School Scholars, starting off as a member and an ambassador, going from an intern, and now I'm a part-time employee as well as on the International Student Council, because I took it upon myself to not only be great for me, but to be great for you, to be great for you, to be great for anyone in this room, because at the end of the day, we're a unit. We're a group. We're here to help each other out. So I do what I do to inspire others. Every other young person in here who's 19, 20, 4, 5, 30, 200 years old can make an impact in some form or fashion. So I want to end off with a song for you guys. The song is called Let There Be Peace. You might have heard it in the video. Some of the dancers was Vision. You guys get to hear from them later on. Can I do a song for you guys? Is that all right? Awesome. So let's go ahead and start the track. I want to have everyone get up on your feet. I know I'm the first speaker and we just got back in here, but I want to get the blood flowing. I want to get everyone happy. We can go ahead and start it. And we're just going to have a good time. Everybody clap your hands for me like this. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's time for us to stand up and spread the peace. Hey! We're going to make a change, y'all, worldwide. Let's go! Together we can touch the world. Then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Let's go. Together we can change the world. Then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. Can you just imagine the peace waking us up each and every morning instead of all the violence that's in the streets, bringing us down from dusk till dawn? I can hear the sadness in children's voices because of all the world's negative choices. It's a clarion call all across the seas. Now it's time to make a change. If I can touch one heart, then I can touch another, because we can touch a gazillion sisters and brothers, because I have a dream of how the world can be over here, over there, and internationally. So it's time for us to come together so we can make it through the stormy weather, because I believe, come on mate, or whatever, that we can make a vow and share the peace together forever. Together we can touch the world, then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Let's go. Together we can change the world, then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. We're all blessed, endless possibilities. Come on, world, let me see your good deeds. Where's your heart at? Is it in it? If your fight is for peace, then defend it. We searching far and wide, because I need to see just a little bit of love internationally. All around the world, we gotta do it together. It's gonna be alright. We gotta make it better. Little by little, we can keep the dream. Then louder and louder, let the freedom ring. Each and every second, every minute, every hour. Time to stomp it out, the violence devoured. Just a little bit of love is all we need to plant the seed for perfect harmony. We can't talk about it, we gotta be about it. And since we got the power, come on and sing it louder. Hey,
can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Let's go. Together we can change the world. Then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Everybody, wave your hands like this for me. Come on. Put your hands together. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Come on, y'all. Now I'm about to break it down for you real quick, if that's all right. Here we go. The only way this world is going down is if we let it. Time to stop the violence, can't even to forget it. Ready, set, go, race is on, we can win it. Put your hands up to the sky if you with it. The only way this world is going down is if we let it. Time to stop the violence, can't even to forget it. Ready, set, go, race is on, we can win it. Put your hands up to the sky if you with it. Hey, together we can touch the world. Then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Let's go. Together we can change the world. Then we can share the peace on earth. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. Let's go. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate you. Thank you. Every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's right. This was a festival announcement. Just for you.
All right. Let's give it up. Give it up again. While you were standing, I was supposed to do something, but of course you sat down so quickly. Remember I told you that we have you do things different? What I want you to do, what we really, really would like everybody to do, is we have seats up toward the front that are, kind of empty. What we want to do is, when you're a presenter, it feels a lot better when it looks like the crowd is a little bit closer to you. So what I want to ask is everybody who's sitting toward the back, see, they got, you get it. You already know what I'm about to say. See, so that's just being like, boom, a follower. I know what this guy's about to say. So if you can just move toward the front, please, it would be great. The energy becomes more intense. You get a better experience. So if you can, just please move to a little bit forward. If you're sitting way in the back, just move a little bit forward. Even if you move forward just a row or two. Thank y'all. Look at that. Boy, love it. That's right. We're all friends here. None of us bite unless you want that. None of us hit you unless you want that. I mean, we can be flexible. Right, that is great. Thank you. And if during the rest of the program you feel the need that you want to move up, if you have not done so, you can do so. But thank you so much. It helps us, helps the presenters, helps you, makes everything feel a little bit more cozy. All right, our next presenter is with Project Second Chance. And there he is. I'm going to let him go ahead and tell you more about himself and what he does. Please welcome Kevin McDermott.
All right. Look at her. All right. All right. There you go. Oh, she's going to tell me. All right. It still says 10. All right. I'm good. I had a prepared speech that I was actually going to boringly read to you, but there's some things that have happened in the last 24 hours, and I've been driven to do something different. Last night, well, first of all, let me just say a little bit about, people ask me what someone like me is doing what I'm doing, and it's very interesting. I was an 18-year-old young man going to college in northern New Jersey, and I had this was 1967, by the way, a few years ago, and I had a roommate whose father, a black man who was a minister in Harlem. And there was a preacher preaching at Riverside Church, and he was about to give a speech against the war in Vietnam. And I was certainly not interested in going to Vietnam or being a soldier or shooting at anybody. So I went and listened to that gentleman. Well, he touched my heart that day, and 2 weeks later, I marched with him from Central Park South to the UN building when he gave another speech. And that gentleman's name happens to be the brother-in-law of the young lady who was here last night that you know as Naomi King. And I didn't know where this journey was going to take me then, but thanks to our fearless leader, Dr. Banana Head, or Banana Peel, but anyway, the real appeal. Anyway, thanks to Dr. Schumann, he introduced me to Babs and the A.D. King Foundation, and Naomi and I spoke, and Project Second Chance, which is a program for a dropout high school recovery program for 15 to 22-year-olds who, most of who are court-ordered to either finish high school or go back to jail, or go to jail in the first place. And since the high schools don't really want those kind of kids back in them, and those kids don't want to go to jail, somewhere in my heart I knew there had to be a place for those young people. So that's how Project Second Chance got started. Now to play this forward, last night I was standing with my two wonderful young ladies who are part of Project Second Chance. Narissa, who I've known since she was a freshman in high school, and her friend Megan, who you've all probably met at our booth downstairs. They did all the work for that. Yes, yes, they did a great job. But when I was standing there, someone asked me if I thought Project Second Chance was a success or even could be a success. And that brings me to something that's really, really important. Our education system, one of the ways we're failing our children, in my opinion, and I was part of that system for over 25 years, is we don't demand that the system helps our children learn how to think critically. You have to be a critical thinker to have the kind of courage it takes to look at injustice and say, this is unacceptable. And I'm glad to say that I am a critical thinker, and I create critical thinkers, and I work with critical thinkers, and I believe that that's one of the solutions to this sort of malaise that we have created where people seem apathetic even though every day their lives are miserable. So anyway, last night this gentleman asked me if I thought Project Second Chance could be successful, and it got me thinking very critically. And I thought to one of my role models, Mother Teresa. And I remember seeing a documentary about her. Never did get to meet her. I would have loved to, because I was a Catholic schoolboy, so that was one of the few nuns that I might actually like, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, when they asked her that question, she looked at the person who asked the question and said, well, we're not here to be successful. We're here to be faithful. And so with that in mind, the reality is when you work with people whose burdens are too much for them to bear, it's almost as if all bets are off. And what do we really mean by success anyway? Well, to me, what I define the success of Project Second Chance about is that these young people, after they're part of this, can now look in the mirror and say out loud to themselves, I am worth it. I am worth it. And I have a chance to do something better for myself. And that's the first step. That's the first step in their being able to actually take advantage of the second chance. And I continue to think about success and how in our culture we seem to have salivating over it. Yet it's been my experience that if I look at this and judge it just whether it's a success or not, somehow it doesn't give me an opportunity to look at these young people and see something different than a lot of other people do, because I could say to myself, there's no way that I could do anything or that much of anything that's going to change 15 years of their living in chaos and hell and literally in third world conditions that our country seems to, don't seem to care about. And so I guess what I would like to leave with, and Naomi inspired me to pray last night, and what I know to be true is that the success of Project Second Chance and so many other of the humanitarian programs that we're talking about is I need and we need to all remember who we're really working for. And that is in someone much bigger and smarter and more powerful than I could ever be. So I just wanted to leave you all tonight, and thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting this humanitarian cause. And I have sort of passed the torch to my people. And one thing quickly I want to say, because of my relationship over 15 years with Narissa and her friendship with Megan and us being tied to Doc, as you might have heard before, Megan works for Tyler Perry, and she's currently writing a script for the corporate kid. And the magical thing about that is most people may or may not know, I don't know, but Tyler Perry is actually the epitome of a corporate kid. So when he sees the script that Megan's going to present to him sometime in the near future, I have no doubt that he will jump up and down and be amazingly enthusiastic about finding the way to make this work. So Megan, thank you for your hard work. Narissa, thank you for your hard work. And Dr. Schumann, thank you for your hard work. And I leave you with the fact that as this sort of connect the dots, I was actually a member of Unity Church over 20 years ago, and we were in a shopping center on Johnson's Ferry Road. And I was actually part of a committee that raised money to build this stuff. So it's very interesting that this how, for some of you young people, and as the gentleman before me said, please understand that you have to take care of your reputation. You have to do the things that don't have you. I'm 68, and I'm proud to say there's thousands and thousands and thousands of kids that I've been able to help in their journey, and it's all because I took care of my reputation. And I've been married for 42 years to the same woman. I have 2 sons who has a doctorate and a master's, and I'm proud to say that God has blessed me, and I try every day to help people understand that you have to do the right thing to have God bless you. So with that, amen, and thank you all, you wonderful humanitarians. All right?
All right. I'm just, I don't even know what to say, Kevin. Did he beat the time? Go ahead. By 2 seconds.
All I can tell you is I ask God every day that he, and just one other thing I know.
Oh, wait, okay. I opened that up. Okay. See, I opened that one up. No problem. Okay. Thank you so much. Well, that's okay. We'll get to that one later. All right, our next performance is by Vision Dance International. They're an Atlanta-based dance company, multicultural, one-stop dance production company of diverse artists and entrepreneurs that perform and create works that evoke a moral and social consciousness in humanity. They are committed to developing entrepreneurship and building a foundation for the individual artistic growth of dancers and choreographers desiring a professional career in the art form. Led by U.S. military veteran Monique Barashango, Vision Dance is America's best inspirational dance company and host crew for the Blaze the Floor, Stomp the Violence National Dance Battle and Tour. They are the first inspirational hip-hop dance crew to perform at the world-famous Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York. Served as the official youth ambassadors for the Selma 50th anniversary celebration, as well as the King Center and the A.D. King Foundation. So they make the rounds. They're taking care of all of it. Moreover, they were the opening act for TV's internationally syndicated Atlanta Gospel Superfest. They have been profiled on CNN, CBS, and other major news outlets, appeared on MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, BET, and have had several members performed on Broadway and major motion pictures. Vision remains committed to changing the world one step at a time through its creative ministry of original music and dance. Everybody give it up for Vision Dance International.
I came through the door. I said it before, let's get straight to this point. 'Cause less is more. I am breaking free by the spirit that's moving me. At the break of dawn with a new lexicon. Away with disorder. It's time for a new one world order. Let's break down the borders. Make way for our sons and daughters. Possibility, opportunity, destiny, vocabulary's necessary when digging into this new win-win. Start here and now, let the beats begin.
Are we able to start it right from where it was?
The file just stopped.
Oh. So the file was maybe not complete?
Yeah, it was incomplete.
Okay, so do we have a... I believe you.
you have a flash drive?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, yes, since she's on the way up there.
Thank you.
That was pretty awesome, though, of the audience. I mean, y'all, that was. And y'all just kept going. I like that. The show has to go on. I was like,
Whenever the music cues back up, we're going to start right from Rise.
do you remember what the minute was in around when approximately? So when she goes, what minute? Okay. Okay. Those of you who are watching streaming at home, don't go anywhere. We just have a few technical difficulties. No problem. We got it covered.
All right, we have it up. Shall I play it from the beginning?
You want to,
Up to you.
are you able to go forward about two, or you want to go forward about a minute?
A minute?
Yeah, because I know it was about 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay. Can you move that chair? The one up front?
Okay.
Yeah. Give them some more room. Thank you. All right, 1 minute in.
The past, the present, the future. No limits, no boundaries. We soar. We pour blood, sweat, faith. We roar like lions from Zion. We come from the purest elements of love. Creative, innovative, intriguing leaders. We set the pace, the rhythm, the movement that reaches and teaches all. We, courageous, mission-minded kings, queens. We find the blind and deliver healing through our unwavering faith. Not products of the environment. The environment is a product of who we are. The who, the where, and what matters. The past, the present, the future.
The legacy, the legacy, the legacy. Unites us all in freedom, freedom. The legacy unites us all in freedom, freedom. the legacy, the legacy, the legacy, the legacy.
All right. All right. All right. There you go. Come on out. Come on out. All of you come on out. If you want to take your pictures or just get the shots in, and we're going to get ready. Can we go ahead and move while they're doing that, can we move this back up? Thank y'all very much. No, just- All right. All right, then, hey, let's give it up for Vision Dance International. Now, was I telling the truth or was I telling the truth? Let's give them a hand. I told you, we're going to have some good stuff for you tonight. Those of you at home, hey, you might be watching anything, but this is some good stuff right here. We promised that we're going to have some good entertainment, and we got it for you. What I want to do now is we're going to introduce our next speaker, Miss Dolores Bunch Keemer. She's the daughter of Cleopatra Jones, an unsung civil rights leader and community volunteer. Dolores Bunch Keemer, now executive director of Atlanta-based Giving a Hand, Inc., began following in her mother's footsteps at a young age. Recognizing Dolores for her lifelong commitment to community leadership, the Siegel Institute for Leadership, Ethics and Character at Kennesaw State University named her the 2015 Phenomenal Woman of the Year at its annual Phenomenal Women's Conference. Dolores has worked with President Jimmy Carter, Atlanta Mayor Shirley Franklin, and Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue on various community programs and outreach. She has also worked on community engagement initiatives with President Barack Obama. She founded the nonprofit Giving a Hand, Inc., which provides nonprofit agencies and public schools the resources, such as food, clothing, medical, and office supplies that they need to serve others on a daily basis. Through collaborative partnerships with Staples and other organizations, Giving a Hand has added job training, housing programs, and children's programming. Through its Sparkle initiatives, children participate in art performances, public speaking, and athletic instruction to form an enrichment program and youth tour ensemble. Let's welcome Dolores Bunch Keemer.
Thank you very much for having me. This has been a phenomenal conference so far. I don't know how I'm going to follow these acts. They've been so fantastic. But I came with a prepared speech, and some things I'm going to stick to, but I feel that the Spirit has moved me to talk about some other things as well. So first I wanted to talk about Webster's definition of humanitarian. Since this is a global humanitarian conference, I wanted to talk about what is the definition of a humanitarian. Well, the adjective is concerned with or seeking to promote human welfare. The noun is a person who seeks to promote human welfare, a philanthropist. Well, how do we become a person to promote human welfare? How do we become the person that's concerned and empowered to make change in the community? Well, I tell you, from from my own experience, I was kind of born into it. My mom, my natural mother, her name was Dolores Bunch also. She died with my birth. So I guess it was God's will that I be born to a grandmother whose name was Cleopatra Jones. My grandmother, she raised 23 children, 17 went to college. So her big initiative was for children to go to school. Now, that was not the only thing that my grandmother did. She also was an emergency home for children. So not only did she raise children, she also was an emergency home, meaning that we probably, out of my whole life, have had over 80 people come in and out of our home for periods of time, maybe a month, up to 2 years, but the others stayed for a long period of time. So I thought long and hard about what to talk about. I mean, there's so many things that I have done, so many things that my grandparents have taught me. My mother, now that you know she's my grandmother, I call her my mother, was a phenomenal woman. For her to be around in the civil rights movement, I can tell you she was not easy to follow. My mom, when I was very young, she went against the Black Panthers in New York. They were getting ready to riot in our area, and she went against the Black Panthers. Here is this little woman at the time in her 30s going against the Black Panthers and saying, please do not riot in our area. But before that, in the area that I grew up in was called Peekskill, New York. And in Peekskill, I don't know if any of you know, but Paul Robeson, I don't know if any of you know who Paul Robeson is. He's one of my heroes. He did Emperor Jones, and he was also a very great orator, and he was a very great singer. He wanted to come to New York to do a speech in Peekskill, New York. My mom, well, he started to go do the speech, and the KKK came, and they were going to come and get him, and they were going to lynch him, really. And my mom and 3 other people helped him get out of town. So that's the kind of mother I had. This woman was phenomenal. How am I going to follow this phenomenal woman? So what I thought about to tell you about, because I have so many inspirational stories, so many inspirational people. One of the things that he may have mentioned is that I worked for President Carter. That was a phenomenal experience to me. I was in graduate school at the time, and one of my cohorts had said, you need to go speak at the Carter. You need to go work with President Carter. I said, I'm not going to work with President Carter, because at the time, I was just preparing to go back to Wall Street. I was on Wall Street for 15 years, so I was preparing to go back. President Carter, he was so phenomenal to me that that his presence was just overwhelming. It's overwhelming in the Carter Center. When he comes, there's so much going on in the Carter Center. They put up flowers, and Mrs. Carter's coming, and we all were very excited about her coming, that we all were on our best behavior, and here comes the Carters. It was phenomenal to go on retreats with him, to go and be in his presence. So from my mentor, my mom on one hand, President Carter on the other, I tried to draw from strengths from both of them to become and emulate who they were. So some of the things I wanted to talk about, and some of the issues that really bother me, they probably bother you as well, as being global humanitarians. That means that we need to be concerned about everything that happens on the globe. So some of the things that bother me are pollution, our clean water, our how did that tragedy happen in Flint, Michigan, our overpopulation, our clean air, our education, our racism, our corruption, and greed. We as global humanitarians need to figure out a way that we are going to conquer these things. We have to come together as all people, and figure out not only in the United States how we are going to solve these problems, but also how are we going to solve them on a global scale. Because unfortunately, our footprint here in the United States does affect other people. They look at us and see us as the people who make the change, who implement change, who are the guardians of the world. So we have to decide together how we are going to solve these problems. How are we going to solve the problems of the world? We can do it as people. We can come together and we can make the change that we seek. We just have to decide that that's something that we want to do. And thank God that I had the type of mentors that I have, because of them, I started my own nonprofit. Because I worked for President Obama also, he was such a phenomenal grassroots effort person. He taught me how to go into the grassroots and actually see a problem and work to fix it. So what did I do? I decided I was going to start a nonprofit. I didn't want to mess up my mother's name. So I do have a nonprofit in her name, but I didn't want to mess it up. So I said, let me start another one. The reason why Giving a Hand became about is because Staples, I was just a person that went to Staples. Staples started giving me resources. I mean millions of dollars worth of resources that I, in turn, just sat out in front of Salvation Army and gave away to nonprofits. I started that, and they asked me, why are you doing that? I said, I just want to give you a hand. That's where Giving a Hand came from. But more importantly, when I started to see the problems that were in the community that I was working in, I said, we have to do something about this. And matter of fact, one day when I walked out our front door and I saw the prostitution, because I'm right off of Fulton Industrial, and I saw the prostitution, I saw the children running around in hotels thinking that that was normal, I said, I have to do something about that. And I got an inkling from the Holy Spirit that said, if you don't do something about it, I'm going to send someone in your place. Well, no, you don't send someone in my place. Thank you, though. I will. So I decided to do something about it. What I did was I started to outreach to other nonprofit organizations, and I started to collaborate with them. I am probably one of the biggest collaborators in the state of Georgia to try to pull all of these resources and nonprofits together so that we can solve the problems that are existing. There shouldn't be people living in hotels as it's normal. One of the people, when we did an outreach and an assessment of the area, we found out that one family had been living in a hotel for 9 years as though it was regular housing. Children were getting normalized to that. Children were digging in the garbage for food. This is the United States of America, and children are digging in the garbage for food. That doesn't happen here. We are better than that. We are better than that. We are better than allowing people to live on the street. We are better than looking at people laying on the ground. We are better than that. And so what I have tried to do is to try to make an impact. I try to make an impact on every single person that I meet. I try not to be judgmental of their circumstances. I try to understand them from where they are. Have I ever been drug addicted? No. But I try to understand why were they drug addicted. I try to understand so much that I went back to my alma mater, Kennesaw State University, and sat on a steering committee to start Homelessness Awareness Week. That's a week dedicated to understanding what homelessness is all about. Because if we don't train the next generation to have empathy for their neighbor, who is going to train them if we don't do it? So therefore, going up to Kennesaw was very, very important to me. We actually engage and do a simulation of homelessness where the teenagers sleep out 2 nights and they simulate homelessness. We bring homeless people there so that they can ask them, why are you homeless? The only way that we are going to bridge this gap is that we, as a people, come together to bridge it. So one of the biggest things that I am about is to make the change that we seek, to work together, everyone to work together to get this change done. How are we going to do that? That's the $20 million question. It's unfortunate, my counterpart from the Carter Center, we were talking just before I came up, and she was asking me questions, and I said, well, it's an hypocrisy downtown. There's millions of dollars that we could be using to do something with, but it gets misallocated. And we as people are allowing that to happen. I get no federal funding because of the red tape that I have to go through to get it. We have to do something about that. We were talking, and I told her that the United Way probably gets close to $100 million. But what actually goes into the public's hands, and actually for us to use, is only $10 million. What is a mental health day? Well, they give them away at the United Way. What is that? I don't have a mental health day. I work 17 hours a day for the constituency that I serve. What is a mental health day? We have to get better than this. We have to be better than this. It shouldn't be top-heavy funding. It should be that most of that money goes down to the grassroots level. It was taken out of people's salary in order for us to be using it in the community. We shouldn't have problems in Flint. We shouldn't have problems in Fulton Industrial. We shouldn't have Detroit looking like a war zone. We shouldn't call Chicago Chirac. I mean, this is the United States of America. We have to decide as a people that we want better than this because the global citizens are watching us. And if you ask most global citizens in other countries, what do they think about the United States? They all say they pray for the United States because we are where they get their guidance from. So in closing, I would like to say that I am so glad that I was born to a woman who, well, I was raised by a woman who decided that I was worth putting all the time in and giving me a good education. And I'm so thankful for my mentors because without them, I wouldn't be the type of person that I am. And I'm hoping that all of you can be all the best that you can be and help us with this global crisis. Thank you.
All right. So from one good speaker and one good subject to another, our next speaker is Tom Bluewolf. He's a deep ecology artist whose earth walk continues to evoke a balanced relationship with nature. He is founder and director of Earth Keepers, One Tribe Trading Company, an organization dedicated to manufacturing and distributing herbal healing products and providing educational processes to remember the profound importance of a good relationship with the earth and each other. He is a charter member of the World Council of Elders, a lifetime member of the Indigenous Healers Association, and travels the world conducting gatherings and inspiring hearts with the message of peace and harmony with all our relations. Tom is considered by the Elders Council to be one of the interpreters and spokespersons for Mother Earth and her children. In 1982, he started and continues with an Indigenous Cultural Awareness Program for our incarcerated family in the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Prison Systems and inspires many hearts with the message of deep listening and walking in balance. Tom was born on the Kanuka River in southern Alabama in 1946. Raised and taught in the traditional ways of his Creek grandparents of the Little Bear family, he now lives with his family on the Conasauga watershed of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Georgia. Tom is the founding member of the Southeastern Regional Indigenous Interfaith. It is my pleasure to introduce Tom Bluewolf.
I want to meet that guy. Thank you. It's a real honor, and I want to say how grateful I am to be here tonight at this auspicious gathering. I also want to mention how pleased I am that it's dedicated to Jimmy Carter and all the wonderful participants and people who have contributed to this Global Humanitarian Summit. Yeah. Well, what I want to share with you is a creation story from our people about what it is to be a deep ecology artist and a part of the family on this beautiful planet. So forgive me, and then I'm going to ask you to bear with me while I tell you this little story. Our people say, in no particular order of significance, that we're all living, all of us, even the Mother Earth and all of her children, all the two-leggeds, all the four-leggeds, all those that swim, all those that fly, the rooted ones, the tree people, the water, the wind, the clouds, even the stones are alive. She has a heartbeat, and we're all part of that heartbeat. Our people say we're riding on the third rock from a dwarf star at unprecedented speeds, spiraling in her wake as she travels through infinite space, and no one knows where we're going. Our people say, enjoy the ride. We all came here with a destiny. We come from spirit, and we're going to go back to spirit. We only walk on this planet for a short time. My grandmother says, you've only got so many breaths to take, and you know that when you're born. Maybe there's 5 million, maybe there's 10 million, but one day you will be taking your last breath. We are finite. That alone should inspire us to want to love one another, knowing that the only way to get out of here is to punch your ticket. And so while we're here, we're told we were given 2 contingencies within which we were to obey. And if we could be here forever. We were told to love the Creator and love each other. My grandfather said, but people have the capacity to mess up a 2-car parade. We wanted to make it more complicated. We wanted it to be more sophisticated. So we started creating all these difficult challenges within which we were to have to be with one another. We started coming up with names for each other, separating us, nations. Einstein said, the only nation I want to belong to is the imagination. So what is it? So we say, our people say the humans, when we came here, because we have something called free will and we can make choices. I mean, we know right from wrong in our heart, but we have the capacity to do the wrong thing or do the right thing. So our people say what humans are to this planet, we are her immune system. She feels what we feel, and we feel what she feels. If she's hurting, we're hurting. If we're hurting, she's hurting. She's our mother. She nurtures us. She provides us with everything that we use. So, in some ways, we're kind of like water filters. If you think about it for a moment, we're all about 70% water. Water has a memory. It's alive. It's an amazing entity. It's the only life form I know of that can be liquid, gas, or solid. It's inside of us for a little while, remembers everything we think of, remembers all of our intentions, and then we put it back into Mother Earth. Water coming into us, water coming out of us, water all around us. So it came to me. Here we're looking at over 7 billion people, and I'm not going to talk about all the four-leggers, but we're looking at 7 billion plus people, and a lot of them are on pharmaceuticals. Those pharmaceuticals join the water and they go right back into the mother. You want to look at what's happening around the world. In my travels, you can see Mother Earth is on birth control. She's on antidepressants. She's on Viagra. She's on all of the herbs, all of the pharmaceuticals that we're on. So is there such a thing as climate change? Well, our people say it's much bigger than that, because the whole universe is alive. We are a reflection of what's going on everywhere else. Everywhere else is a reflection of what's going on here. You can try this at home. Well, maybe you shouldn't try this at home. But at night, when you go out and look at the stars, realize just for a moment that every star you can see can also see you. And we call this photosynthesis. All this light comes down onto the planet from every star that you can see and deposits information. This information, what a good idea, I thought to myself. This information is deposited in all the flowers around the world. It's called pollen, bee pollen. This pollen carries the DNA of the planet, the blueprint. Acorns can remember what they're supposed to do when they want to be an oak tree. Every seed has the dream of what it is to do, and it gets this from the starlight as it comes in here. So do we. So my contention is, because of the water, because of the light, because of the air, because of all of the love that we have for each other, our destiny has already been ascribed. The future has already happened. We're living through it again. This is what our people say. We are destined. This is why I believe this. We are destined for at least 1,000 years of peace, and it's coming soon. You can feel the turbulence right now in the atmosphere. You can feel all the global anxiety and frustration around the world. Well, Mother is having a difficult healing process. We don't think of it as global warming. We think she has a fever. She's not feeling well. She's going through convulsions. She's dehydrated. There's a shortage of water on 70% of the earth, dehydration. And what are the symptoms of dehydration? Think about it, and then she's going through all of those symptoms right now. So the healing. So when our people say, why did we come to this planet? We came to this planet because we all wanted to participate and contribute to this great healing that's taking place. So I'm going to say it. Every one of us is a healer. We have the capacity to heal. And it's as simple as the words that we speak. You have the power to bring somebody to their knees with your words. You also have the power to make them feel like they've got wings and they can fly. Our people tell us that there's two things that we need to do in order for this healing that's taking place to become engaged. And that's to fall in love. Fall desperately in love. And if you're able to love someone very deeply, you will be strong. It provides you with strength. If you're able to be loved by someone very deeply, you will have courage. You want strength and courage to love and to be loved. With those two characteristics for this one powerful energy that's taking place, this frequency, this energy, this vibration, this permeates the universe. This is, I believe this is our only hope for a sustainable world. You know, in this room right now, I can say this, there are no accidents. I'm going to tell you that if this were another time and another place and I was another person and y'all were different people, maybe it would be different. But today, I'm going to say that before time, before each one of us was born, we were floating through space. looking at this little turquoise rock, third rock, little pale blue dot, talking about it to one another as angels soaring through space. Well, I want to go there. I've heard about the lives. I've heard about the water. I've heard about the food. I've heard about the birds, beautiful birds and animals. Let's go there. And so we all made an agreement to come here. But what we didn't realize and what we had neglected was this incubation period. 9 months inside of another human being. No one thought to tell that story. So when we woke up inside of a woman, we'd tell, wait a minute, this wasn't what I signed up for. This wasn't part of the story. But eventually, you come to accept your fate. You're inside the mother. And what do you hear? All of us. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. You hear this heartbeat. You hear psh, psh, psh. You hear the blood flowing through her veins. You feel this warmth, this unconditional love. You don't have to worry where your food comes from. It just shows up. You don't ever have to think about polluting the environment of your mother. It's not even something you would consider. And so what do? I was so beautifully reminded just moments ago. You dance. You dance inside the mother. People outside say, the baby's kicking. The baby says, I'm dancing. That's all you do. I'm dancing to my mama's heartbeat. And then one day, sure enough, you realize you can't stay here forever. The great transition is imminent. You look around for an escape strategy, and you think, oh, my Lord, I'm already 21 inches long, and I already weigh 7 pounds. There's no way I'm going to fit through that keyhole. So you pray. You pray. And sure enough, the Creator says, I'm going to tell you 3 things right now, and you can use them where you are, and you can use them in the next life. And the baby says, next life? You mean there's life after this? And they go, oh, yeah, this is just the beginning. And he says, well, what's the 3 things? And he says, keep the faith, move towards the light, and always expect a miracle. So you do. You take it to heart. And sure enough, the mother shapeshifts in ways you never imagined. The next thing you know, here we are, human beings, breathing air, dancing to the sound of our mother's heartbeat, listening to the water flow through her veins. On a good day, never concerned about where our food comes from. We have strength and we have courage, and the food will show up. And we never consider in the side of our hearts, polluting the environment of our mother. Because my contention is that baby has never gone anywhere. Just got tenure. You've been here longer. I'm still 3 years old somewhere inside of me. I'm still 8 years old. I'm still 15 years old somewhere inside of me. Just as real. My grandfather used to say, inside of every old man, there's a little boy wondering what the heck happened. And so I kind of feel that this story of life on earth is something we all share, because we all got here the same way, and we're all going to leave the same way. And so I'm going to leave you with this story and say that one of the things that I think that has helped our people, through a long time of difficulties and challenges is what's been called the 4 agreements. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but our people say, always be impeccable with your word. Take nothing personal. Make no assumptions. And always do the best you can. I want to thank you for allowing me to talk this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. For those of you who don't know, he does a water walk. What is it called, Tom? The water walk. What is it? Every year. Say it again. For the water. Don't you do that walk? Yes. Yes, and it's amazing. I was. Yeah, to kind of show the importance of the water and how, it, of course, it is alive. And it was a wonderful, they walk for miles, long ways. And I was a part of that one year. It was a wonderful thing. So we got some entertainment, some more entertainment for you guys. And I think you're going to enjoy this. It is an honor to introduce this national and international singer-songwriter. He is a 7-time Grammy nominee and 3-time Hall of Famer. Along with W.C. Handy, father of the blues, he has been honored with a marker along the Mississippi Blues Trail, which places interpretive markers at historical sites related to the influence of the blues throughout the state of Mississippi. He first recorded when he was only 14 and was eventually on the Motown team. He has written songs for the Supremes, Bobby Womack, and many other Motown artists. The Temptations, Gonna Get You, Aretha Franklin, I'm Not Strong Enough, and Thelma Houston's I've Been Doing Wrong So Long It Just Comes Natural were nominated for Grammy Awards. He went on to produce artists like Johnny Taylor, Ernie Johnson, and Gwen McCrae, and set up his own label called Fat Sound Records. All the way from Columbus, Ohio, please welcome to the stage Frank O. Johnson, a.k.a. Frank O. Morelli.
All right, thank you very much. So y'all enjoying yourself out there tonight? All right then, well let's get this ball on the road. Okay? Okay, we're gonna roll with it. You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You can be a king, you can possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you grow and old. Well, the world is still the same, you'll never change it. As sure as the stars shine above. Oh, you nobody tell somebody love you. So find yourself somebody to love. Well, all right. Oh, the world is still the same, you'll never change it. Just as sure as the stars shine above. Oh, you nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. Thank you. Hey, you guys are really in the spirit. You're outside the hand clapping and everything like that, and I'm just clapping with the beat and rocking and rolling. First of all, I'd like to thank the Lord, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, for bringing me all the way here safe. And I thank you for being on the cloud for that. And He takes care of me all the time. Okay, so I have some people that I like to recognize, and I want to thank. I'd like to thank Miss Debbie, the chairman of the summit, for asking me to come. And how about a hand for her? Huh? And also Sadie and Araya. How about a hand for them? Thank you. Yeah, that's good, huh? Also, the founder of the summit, the Humanitarian Summit, Mr. Neil Schubert. How about that? Okay, and I'd like to thank Lee for giving me a great introduction. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank a very good friend of mine, and we've been working together for about 16 years, and worked with him when he was with the Temptations and all of that, and I've been writing songs for him. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good friend of mine and a hell of an entertainer, Mr. Prince Ronnie Love. If he's there, that's okay. Also, I'd like to give thanks to Carl. He's a great video man. He does documentaries. He's very famous for doing all kind of video work. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank him too. And I'd like to thank my lady friend I've been knowing for about 30 years, and she just didn't throw me away. And it's like Miss Evelyn Horton. Let's give a hand for her, okay? Great lady indeed. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I'm very new to meeting you, but I'm glad that everybody came, so what about giving a hand to yourself? All right there. We've had good time, oh, we had a ball. We rode in hot air balloons and rolled over Niagara Falls. We had our times of ups and downs, oh, we did it all. It was just for the fun of it, just for the fun of it. Hey man, I had my run of it, just for the fun of it all. Well, life's been swell, amen, oh, I can't complain. I've had lunch with girls and friends and had dinner in Spain. I've had my share of ups and downs, oh, I did it all. It was just for the fun of it, just for the fun of it. Hey man, I'm still not done with it, just for the fun of it all. Everybody put your hand together, come on. I've had my share of ups and downs, oh, I did it all. It was just for the fun of it, just for the fun of it. Hey man, I'm still not done with it, just for the fun of it all. Oh yeah, just for the fun of it all. Ooh. Just for the fun of it all, just for the fun of it all, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Praise the Lord. Good night. And remember, my name is Franco, and don't you ever forget it.
I don't think we could forget you, Franco. Very good. Thank you so much. We've had some really good entertainment, and I'm glad that you guys are really enjoying it. And those of you at home, wherever you are in the world, we hope that you will maybe send us some emails. Go to the website, go to the Facebook page and like us. That will get us a little bit more exposure, which we could all use more exposure. So our next presentation, as we have, we didn't really make the announcement, but this entire summit has been dedicated to Jimmy Carter. Oh, we have a wallet. I don't know. I'll probably let you know later. Yeah, nobody saw that, right? Okay, so we're going to have a video presentation that is going to give a tribute to Jimmy Carter's life. After that, we will have a member of the Carter Center come up and also speak a little bit more about the things that the Carter Center are doing to continue the legacy that Jimmy Carter started. So enjoy.
From old Savannah, you can drive 200 miles. Or from Atlanta, just about 2 hours time. To the plains where I was born, where my daddy had a farm. The year of 1924. There's not an acre any sweeter on this earth than the land we ran barefoot in every summer. Me and A.D. had it all. We'd walk the rails and we'd never fall. We lived our boyhoods in the Georgia sun. For years I'd dream upon the gleaming silver tracks, with the Seaboard Airline Railroad winding past. It seemed to beckon unto me like falling rain to the fertile land. I dreamed one day I'd be a traveling man. And the train rolled right past our front door, chugging like a dream a young farm boy could not ignore. Blow like the wind across the prairie to the sea, calling to the young boy and the old man in me. I grew up and I became a Navy man. Then I asked my lovely Rosalind for her hand. Of all the luck I ever had and every blessing that has been, she's the truest one. Oh, my gentle, loving friend, I'd live it all with you if I could again. From that summer day in Plains we said I do, there was a road that knew my name and called me to. First the mansion of the governor, then the house of gleaming white, a light on Pennsylvania Avenue. I remember waking up on that first day. I looked around the very house where Lincoln stayed, and I turned to my sweet Rosalind, for we knew each other's mind. How could God dream for us such a life? And the train rolled right past our front door, chugging like a dream a young farm boy could not ignore. Blow like the wind across the prairie to the they open doors and call my name. Build a home for some cold family or a bridge in the Middle East. The work is never done, but we cannot give up on peace. Take another breath, my friends, 'cause here we go again. Children, sow the seeds of love in all you do. You never will regret a life that love runs through. Put no walls around your heart. Let no one tell you who you are. It'll all unfold. All inside you that is gold. And all your mysteries that you think you want to know will make you smile one day when you're growing old. And the train rolled right past our front door, chugging like a dream a young farm boy could not ignore. Blow like the wind across the prairie to the sea, calling to the young boy and the old man and me. And the train rolled right past our front door, chugging like a dream a Georgia farm boy could not ignore. Blow like the wind across the prairie to the sea, calling to the young boy and the old man and me. Calling to the young boy and the old man and me.
Yeah, that was very emotional. It gave a really good aspect of how, from a real small town, and I remember when that happened, it's like, wow, I didn't even know what Plains, Georgia was, and I'm from Atlanta. So, but just really showing how from a small town, and then you go right to the White House, it was amazing. So now we've had our first African American president, so we can see that things are going in a good direction. Yeah, there are still issues, but we don't want to really think that things are just going terribly bad. A lot of times we focus and put some more energy on the good things that are going on, maybe give some more energy and some more focus. Maybe some of those good things will get as much traction as some of the negative that we put so much energy into. So, thoughts have power, so let's maybe think about that. It's real easy to get people to talk about negative stuff. You just got to say something stupid. And then now you got all that energy, all these people talking about it. It's just, let's ignore that and let it die. And then let's keep talking about the things we want to happen and the people that we want to be doing things. So I will get off my soapbox. Our next presenter, Karen Ryan, is the Director of Human Rights Program at the Carter Center, Senior Policy Advisor on Human Rights, and Special Representative on Women and Girls. As Senior Policy Advisor, Ms. Ryan works with former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and Mrs. Rosalind Carter on a range of issues, including assisting their efforts on behalf of victims of human rights violations through personal interventions with heads of state. She has represented the Carter Center in many international negotiations, including the International Criminal Court, the Human Rights of Women, the UN Declaration on Human Rights Defenders, and most recently on the establishment of a UN Human Rights Council, and has worked closely with the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights to organize expert consultations designed to strengthen the role of the OHCHR within the United Nations system. Karen earned bachelor's degrees in political science, from Emory University, local, and in contemporary writing and production from Berklee College of Music in Boston. She has participated in the Carter Center's election observation missions to Haiti, the occupied Palestinian territory, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Nigeria. She has also coordinated the Human Rights Defenders Policy Forum for many years, whose aim is to support those on the front lines of the struggle for human rights and democracy all over the world. Please welcome Ms. Karen Ryan.
Thank you very much. Oh, hi, Lisa. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you, Debbie, for inviting me. It's very touching. I'm really moved by everything that has been said tonight, and the music and the beautiful story from. It's all very, very wonderful, and I'm especially glad to bring you the gratitude and greetings from President Carter. I know he would really love to be here with you because there's so much love here, so much generosity, and I know that he would enjoy it very much. And speaking of love, we've heard a lot about that tonight, and recently in a Sunday school speech, they've been flocking to see his Sunday school preaching since his illness was announced. And one thing he said recently, because I follow it closely just by the tweets and the news, he said that when he made peace with Israel and Egypt, and when he normalized relations with China, and negotiated a return of the canal to the people of Panama so that the United States would not be an imperial power, he did it with the radical love of Jesus in his heart. And that love was what motivates him as a leader and as President of the United States. And when he said that, of course, I hear him. I've been working with him for 27 years, so I'm just dating myself a little here, but I was 5 years old when I started, I promise. Yeah. When I first started working with him, I knew that this was a big part of his life, but to hear him say that in this day and age, when, while we don't want to over-focus on the negative, it's very difficult to not know the crisis that is swirling around us, and to know that there is an antidote to it, and it is love. And recently at a speech that he gave, he said, there are two aspects of my understanding of Christian love from my perspective as a Christian, is him speaking. There is caritas and veritas. There's the caring love, but there's the part of love that tells the truth. And we must do both. And this is what we seek to do through our programs at the Carter Center, is caring through eradicating disease, caring for those who are the most vulnerable. But we are in a time when we need to tell the truth. And again, I so appreciate what you said, Lee, about focusing on the positive. Now, first you have to say the truth so you can diagnose what you need to do, and then you got to be positive, 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 positive. So I'm just going to tell a couple stories because we're really late. Just to give an example of the people that we work with, and I'm so proud of Dolores, who was with the Carter Center for a while, to hear the great work that she's doing right here in Atlanta. But just think about all of the people like Dolores and many of you who are working so hard in your community. I'm just going to tell the story of a woman named Fatima in Basra, Iraq, who since 1991, since the United States' first war in Iraq, the Gulf War in 1991, as a young woman, she was working with war widows. And she became very beloved in her community for supporting the widows of men who died in the war of that time. So more recently, since 2003, our most recent war in Iraq, she became a focal point in her community. And recently, we brought her here, and she's coming back in June. She's one of the women peacemakers that we work with. We believe that peace is possible from within societies, and what we have to do is figure out how to nurture and help those within society to make peace, because invading and using violence, I hope we have figured out by now, does not work. Fatima tells the story, and she's the most lovely woman. Just smiles all the time despite the suffering, but she lives in Basra. And when I heard somebody ask her if she's Shia or Sunni, because it's Basra, southern Iraq is a Shia area, and she wouldn't answer. She said, no, I'm Iraqi. And she brings Shia, Sunni, and Christian together in Basra. She takes the Shia and Sunni together to visit the Christians in the churches. This woman disarmed 500 militiamen with $5,000 and put them to work rebuilding the schools, the roads, and the homes, something the United States military could never achieve. And when we took her to Washington, D.C. to meet with members of Congress to tell her story, and you just watch their mouth go, what? People like Fatima are all over the world, and they are doing the work that they're doing, and our job is to support them. And anyway, just one small story, when I was sitting in the cafeteria in Washington on the way to the meetings, I saw her over there and there was a tear coming down her eye, and I said, what's wrong? And she said, my nephew was just killed fighting ISIS because they had to go. And she picked herself up, and we went to the meetings, and she just smiled and kept on. This is the kind of courage of people that are working. And I think if I would just leave you with one thought today, this is one of the efforts that we do is to support women peacemakers. Remember that 8 days of military spending could pay for K through 12 education for every child on this planet. So when we hear Dolores and others talking about where are the resources for the schools, for the food, for the homeless shelters, let's not allow this government, this president that we love, Barack Obama, who is such a fine man, let's not allow him to authorize the allocation of $1 trillion that is now being considered to upgrade the nuclear arsenal that is way too big, that we do not need, and that we will pray God never use. Yet, the conservative budget for that decision is $1 trillion over the next 10 years. This is in our hands. This is in our hands. So when we think about how we can act, let us be informed, but we'll stay positive because we have a lot of work to do. And I will take your message of love and your tribute and tell President Carter how much love there was for him here today. Thank you.
Wow, that was very moving. And as we know, that to me would not you think that that was focusing on the positive? Right? Yeah. It's not about being blind to what's going on, but we can get up here and people complain and complain, complain and complain. That's what we talk about. But yeah, knowing what's going on and then doing something positive about it, that's, yeah, very good. Thank you for making that, helping us to see that process. Let's see, we now have a performance. Oh, you're going to be doing the guitar this time. I was waiting for the piano. Okay. Serena Ocio is a Latin American singer and songwriter. She is a multi-instrumentalist that has performed in a variety of international venues, as well as arranging and composing. Sonia has explored and fused different rhythms and styles from Latin, jazz, gypsy, African, North and South American music. She sings in Portuguese, Spanish, English, and her own soul language to bring us closer to our own source of rhythm and musicality. Ladies and gentlemen, Sonia Ocio.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in peace cannot rest. Oh, we who believe in unity cannot rest until it comes. Like a promise. That is what you are. Just like a smile. That is what you are. Like a fresh water in any hand. Like a poem. Like wheat. Like bread. That's what you are. My friend Dan reminded me about this old Spanish song that you might remember. And if you feel like it, you can sing with us. Como una promesa, eres tú, como una mañana de verano,
como una sonrisa, eres tú, así, así, eres tú.
Toda mi esperanza, eres tú, como lluvia fresca en mis manos.
Eres tú, así, así, eres tú. Como el agua de tú, como el agua de mi fuente. Eres tú, el fuego de mi hogar.
Como mi poema, eres tú, como una guitarra en la noche.
Como mi rasante, eres tú, así, así, eres tú. Eres tú, como el agua de mi fuente. Eres tú, el fuego de mi hogar. Eres tú,
Algo así eres tú,
como el agua de mi fuente.
algo así eres tú,
el fuego de mi hogar.
con una promesa.
Eres tú,
como una mañana
de verano, como una sonrisa. Eres tú, así, así, eres tú. Eres tú, como el agua de mi frente. Eres tú, el fuego de mi hogar. Eres tú.
That's what you are.
Good evening. My name is Vinod Patel, representing Sardar Patel Foundation. We also have similar activities at the foundation under oneness leadership concept. We are headquartered in Empire State, New York. Recently, we moved to Atlanta, and the foundation has been chartered over here in Georgia. However, our activities are worldwide under oneness concept for the global noble cause. As Karen said, that I was fortunate enough in the year 1976, when I was an undergraduate student at University of San Francisco, I had truly wonderful opportunity to campaign for Jimmy Carter, and very recently, last but not least, for Obama as well. So say my hello to Jimmy. Yes. Introducing like India being the largest democracy, whereas United States of America is the oldest democracy, and we, by virtue of oneness concept, would like to bridge that gap by combining the same doctrine and philosophy of oneness concept. When Swami Vivekananda, under Vasudhaiva Kutumbakama, meaning whole world is my family, in 1893, he was addressing in Chicago in reference to Hinduism when everybody felt that he is here to preach Hinduism, but he made sure and made it clear that Hinduism is not a religion, but it's way of a life, like Art of Living from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar when we had a booth downstairs. So Swami Vivekananda conveyed this message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakama, one borderless world. He introduced the concept, followed by Mahatma Gandhi as well as Martin Luther King, as he been to India as a tourist, and when he returned from India, he declared himself as a pilgrim by following non-violence concept of Mahatma Gandhi, which I convey this message of non-violence as Karen said, that nurse, if she can do without any weapon, by virtue of non-violence, Mahatma Gandhi got independent the entire country. And that's the only way we can bring a piece of a peace as of today on this world. We express on behalf of Sardar Patel Foundation our fullest cooperation and whatever we can do for this foundation, because we have something in common to share. Like I say, one need to absorb the best out of East and West and derive a synthesis and go from there. Thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. Dr. Silman, thanks.
Okay. Well, how have you enjoyed the night so far? Just, wow. Well, we're going to go ahead and introduce our final speaker for the evening. And for the sake of time, I'm going to let him actually give an introduction as far as what he does. So let's please invite Jafan Seeley to come up to the microphone.
Well, I know it's a little bit late, so give me about 3 hours and we'll get out of here, all right? I've been patiently waiting, but I'm grateful to be here with each and every one of you. It is a beautiful opportunity to come together with individuals who are willing to shine their light in such a way that they are reminding other people of the glorious light that is shining within them. I am here, I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am here on this planet with each and every one of you as we are resting in this incredible universe, breathing the oxygen together. Each and every one of us have our heart that is beating, our cells that are dividing, our atoms that are thriving, and we are taking a moment to recognize the glorious life that we share with one another. It reminded me of a poem that says, I am you, in a vessel that produces an expression. Beneath this physical mantle I dwell. Within all, the divinity continues. It is the strength that allows all to continue in the direction chose, the purpose unknown, comprehension of the meaning forms as we leap to different stones. Question not. The answer will manifest. Contained by us all is the key that unlocks the treasure chest, filled with abundance to be spread amongst us. The dawn of a new era is now upon us. Tap in. You're the creator. Overflowing with potential, faith is the connector that attracts what is meant. Question not, because your thoughts will always manifest. My friends, what a beautiful opportunity just to simply recognize this present moment of now that we are sharing with one another. We're laughing together, talking together, taking pictures together. Everything is blessed. I was born and raised in Salt Lake City. A very unique place. I don't know if you've been there. If you have, the mountains are beautiful. If not, go check out the temple. But it was a beautiful experience. You see, my mother was adopted from Scotland. My father was African American and came together, and here I am. But growing up, my mom struggled with her own inner battles, addiction and drugs, failing to recognize the glorious light that we saw shining within her. My father wasn't around, and I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. And it was humanitarians, people who were willing to look beneath the appearance of who I was and connected with the light which I always have been, that have helped me to blossom out of the seeming darkness and recognize the divinity and the light that is dwelling not just within me, but recognize the light and the divinity that is flowing through all. So I encourage all of us, as we are sitting here together, as we are resting in this present moment, that happens only once. You see, this moment, the seat that you are sitting in, the breath that you are breathing, this moment that we are sharing will never come again. So let us treasure it. Let us embrace it. Let us recognize the connection that we share with one another. Let us not only honor the inner essence that dwells within us, but let us see the divinity and the essence that is flowing through not only all the people in here, but everybody who we have the opportunity to interact with in our day-to-day experience. So I would like to share just a few things, because you know it's beautiful to come together and hear words of wisdom and be inspired and be propelled by what people are doing, but there is a whole nother aspect of embracing at least one tangible point, one piece of knowledge, one bit of wisdom, embracing it in your life and then applying it when you wake up tomorrow or when you walk out of the doors today. So what I would like to invite all of you to do, whether you have a nonprofit organization, whether you are doing laughter yoga, whether you are a gentleman who is representing the biggest country that has democracy, whether you are the wonderful doctor here or Debbie who helps to put all of this together, or even Reverend Richard in the back who has opened this space for us to share and fellowship and recognize the divinity, I encourage all of you, and I'm talking to myself as well, to give a gift. Now, you don't got to go to Walmart or Walgreens or CVS or a sustainable store and buy something, but simply give the gift of being present. I challenge you, every environment that you enter, from this moment going forward, be present. Allow the light that is within you to enter into the room and illuminate it in a vibrant way versus allowing an environment to seep the light out from within you. Be present. When you have the opportunity to talk to another person, look at them in the eyes and recognize that you are talking to a divine being. Connect with them. Listen to their words from a deep and compassionate place, realizing that if you listen with true compassion, then irritation cannot stir within, because you are willing to see the love, the essence, the divine that is flowing through them. Try that when you're watching a presidential debate next time. And the final gift, give yourself the gift of being present. The last opportunity I had to speak here at Unity North, Reverend Richard brought up a powerful point that said, we take 25,000 breaths on average each and every day, but how many of those breaths are you aware of? How many breaths have you embraced today? He also mentioned that our heart beats on an average of 100,000 times a day. Have you even felt one heartbeat that is reverberating through your chest? Not just feeling the physical heart that is beating, but being aware of the infinite essence that is empowering that energy within you to cause that heart to beat. My friends, give the gift of being present and recognize how precious this moment of life truly is. And most importantly, recognize how powerful, how much potential, and how incredible each and every one of you truly are. And from the depths of my heart, the light that is within me honors and recognizes the glorious life and light that is shining through you. And to conclude here today, peace and blessings and namaste.
Yeah. Wow. What a way to end the second day of this summit. Give her a hand. So those of you who stayed, you got a treat. Those who left, they missed out. So, but hey, we're glad that you guys are here. Tomorrow, of course, will be the final day of our 2016 Global Humanitarian Summit. And we will probably, I think we're going to have some more information and dedications for Jimmy Carter. We also will be doing more performances as well as more speakers. Now, in the morning, for those of you who are going to come, the morning is going to be combined with the Unity worship. I think it's at 11:15. So we will be actually, since Unity is the house of worship that we are in, we're going to be combining the actual summit, and the actual program will be, even I think it's Palm Sunday.
It is Palm Sunday, but the summit is continuing tomorrow morning at 11:15. It is a universal worship service, and I invite you all to please join us tomorrow. Your life will be changed.
Definitely. So since that is the case, just making sure that everybody realizes that we will have parking that will be designated. So if the parking situation in this parking lot gets overflowed, we do have contingencies for people to be able to park. So we will have people out there to be able to let you know where to go. We will have a shuttle that will also be, we've got that to be transporting people back and forth. So the main thing we want you to know is that please only park in the designated areas. So please only park in the designated areas. And we got this wallet, and it keeps coming back to me. I actually was going to give it away, and now it comes back. Is this a sign? Martin? Oh, there we go. Hey, this is a hard-working young man, one of our sound and video people. I mean, they have been working hard, and this couldn't go on. I mean, I get some people telling me, oh, you're doing such a good job of emceeing this and that. I ran each night. I run up there first. Because if it wasn't for them, none of this would be happening. Araya, let's give her a hand as well. Ted. Okay. Yeah, and live streaming. Yes. We've made it to the 21st century in technology. So the actual program is going to start tomorrow at 10 a.m. So even though we will also be with the morning worship, we will be starting our conference at 10. So there'll be a meditation. Okay, a meditation. So thank you so much for coming. It's just been truly breathtaking. And does anybody, I guess, I forgot what I was going to say. It left me. The universe must not need to be said. So everybody, please have a safe drive home. Continue your humanitarian efforts, and please come back tomorrow for the final day of the Humanitarian Summit. Thank you.